Hello, guys. A happy Friday. So, today I have it in my spirit to speak about self esteem. And I'd like to speak about mainly how low self esteem can affect one's life and the quality of their life. Um, let's start by defining what self esteem is. So, generally speaking, self esteem is a subjective view of self worth to be exact. Um, what is your self worth? So I've realized that quite a lot of people have low self esteem banks. Their banks are totally zero. And I'll tell you why that happens. That happens because we tend to bring people, toxic people into our lives, whether it's friends, families, partners. We end up in wrong marriages because we have low self esteem. And I'm talking um, based on my experiences. Okay, I'm 40, yeah. I got married at quite an early age, and most of my very close friends would know this. Got married to an older man who blessed me with my first child, Pila. And, but I had a low self esteem. Because I settled. I went into marriage because I wasn't complete myself. I was very young, naive. Um, Probably went after material things and ended up in that situation. However, not all was lost. But you know, I knew I had a low self esteem, and subsequent to that, I experienced the effects. And how did I get out of that? Is the point. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of women out there, especially in South Africa, have such a like high tolerance to disrespect. And I believe in marriage, because like I said, I walked that path in marriage where your spouse, your partner, um, will disrespect you, end up, denting your confidence, calling you fat, calling you ugly, and whatever the case is. But it affects your confidence and your self-esteem. So we end up in those situations in the first place because we have this hole that we expect somebody else to fill. So we feel that somebody else will complete us, and we are not complete on our own, which is such a wrong perception. For example, there's quite a lot of you know events that could lead one to end up losing their self-worth, and it's usually triggered by external factors. Some situations lead to like crazy anger, suicide. It leads to depression and all that. And you know as a woman who is bringing up two boys, I worry. So I end up talking to them and trying to explain to them, that you need to respect women. These certain things are not to happen in any relationship with women when you are of age. And I try and teach them and groom them such that they grow up to be kings, and they will attract queens. So, where am I going with this message? I'm trying to say to you that it's important to work on your self worth, on your, work towards filling your self love tank. You know, you need to be selfish at times as a woman, as a queen you are. And how do you get to that point of a full self love tank, or self worth tank? First of all, you ought to start by knowing who you are. If you know who you are, the world cannot tell you who you are or who you aren't. So equip yourself with who you are. And the best place to search out and dig your identity is the Bible. It is the book that was inspired by the creator who created you. So, yeah, go back and find out what the word says about you. Look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself, baby, and tell yourself that you are the bomb. You are like everything. Speak, things over your life, and set boundaries. My goodness, I can't say this enough. Set boundaries, enforce those boundaries. As a woman in a relationship or not, you demand respect. Anybody that does not respect you, needs to get out. So, what am I saying? I'm saying to become a generation of queens, we need to love ourselves that much, respect ourselves that much, not to tolerate anybody for that matter to cross those boundaries. And as single women, more single women that are raising boys and girls, it's our duty to bring up these children in the ways of the Lord and also teaching them what to expect from the world and how to equip themselves, how to be respected and heard and honored. And I am dying to speak to singles. Obviously, I would say I'm still single, right? Though I am attached. But we need to speak about these things. What are the red flags that we should avoid while dating, right? There's quite a lot of things. But until then, remember who you are. You are the queen that needs to reign in her castle. I love you. And remember, you are attached to some man's favor, an ordained man's favor. While you wait, there's a couple of things you ought to do, and I'll share that with you next time. I love you so much.